Hey, brother teacher here. I want to talk to you for a moment about um, karate and our fighting stances in a street situation. If you were to have to result, uh, not result, but resort to uh, defending yourself against a physical encounter and or confrontation in the street, what style of stance, positioning, as it were, should you maintain? Uh, you must realize that we are living in a different time today than we did 30, 40, 50 years ago. For example, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, maybe early 90s, uh, it was not uncommon to see two guys in the street fight, squaring up against each other, boxing, or what have you, this type of thing. Not to say that people didn't use weapons, they've been using weapons since the beginning of time. However, in most unarmed street situations, guys would square off and you see them swinging and they have some sort of posture, aggressive posture, that is, which would signify either they were some sort of fighter, boxer, karate guy, or what have you. But in today's time, what type of stance should one assume? We today, listen to me carefully, are living more of a gun culture than ever before. People don't fight fairly anymore. There are people who are walking the streets who have concealed carry permits. There are people, on the other hand, that are walking the street that are carrying guns illegally, unlawfully, that are of the criminal element. You just don't know. Let's just put it like this: everyone's carrying a gun. That should be the mindset that you have when you go outside of your house. You don't know. You just really don't know. So, whereas in time past years ago, you could get into a karate stance when you're about to defend yourself, let's say, hopefully defend yourself and not be the aggressor only, uh, that was okay. But today, if you're having words with someone because you having let's say, a disagreement, and you jump into a karate stance or a boxing stance, and they're at a distance away from you, they reach back in their pocket or their pants and pull out a gun just because they want to level the playing field. They may not be that skilled in fighting hand to hand, and so they just pull out the equalizer, which is the gun. You never know if that person is the one that you're faced with. So my suggestion as it relates to fighting stance and or hand positioning in a street encounter, if you're going to fight someone, don't jump into a boxing stance or a karate pose instantly when you're having words. Don't do that, because all you're going to do is escalate the situation. Instead, I suggest that you have a passive aggressive stance. Here's what I mean. Let's say your hands are here. This is passive. But if you bring the hand here, you're ready to strike out. You don't want to interlock your hands where you can't move them if the person were to try to get the upper edge on you and attack you. So you don't want to lock your hands down. You want to have one hand on top so that hand that's free can move instantly. Okay? So this is one position. From here, hand on top. And you want to make sure that you understand and respect distance from that potential opponent and yourself. If he's in the position where he can touch you, then you are in danger. You are vulnerable. So you want to make sure that you have a passive aggressive positioning. Here's another one. I don't want any trouble. Or here's another variation of that. Excuse me, brother, or even sister. I don't want any trouble. Can we talk this out? I'll leave the situation. I'll just go on about my business. That's another one. And here's another one, the thinker position. Here, hand is still ready to attack if I have to. In this position here, it may not be common, May not be comfortable to some people at first, but you will get used to it. And when you have to engage someone and there are witnesses around, they're going to tell the police this guy wasn't trying to fight this other person at all. As a matter of fact, he tried to talk his way out of it. And most people do film situations in the street. If they see you like this, if they see you like this, if they see you like this, that's a display of non-aggression. It is not until someone attacks you that you leave those positions and then see clearly to defend yourself, and then that's it. But if they see you like this, you're equally as guilty as the other individual when you have to go to court. They say, well, you was fighting him too. But don't forget this. So I would suggest again before I close, don't assume a karate stance if you're in a situation where you might come to blows with another human being, another person. Don't assume a boxing stance. Assume a very passive aggressive type of stance. Being watchful of your surroundings and especially the individual in front of you, and by all means try to talk your way out of the situation and leave the situation, paying attention to your surroundings still. And also, as a footnote, try to avoid going to places where you have potential situations where you can end up in a situation where you might have to fight someone. Bar scenes, party scenes, club scenes, these types of places. Try to avoid those types of places. And if you can see intuitively that something is about to happen, leave before it begins to escalate. And you'll save yourself a whole lot of hardship in the end. This is Brother Teacher. If you have had a situation before similar to the scenario that I just presented to you, and someone stole you and they punched you because you had your arms locked up or your hands in your pocket, something like that, let us know. And if you was in a passive position because you used this as a strategy and someone attacked you and you defended yourself and you ended up on the positive end, let us know that as well. And if something started to arise as far as a possible confrontation and you walked away from it even, and it could have been worse, let us know that. I appreciate you and your comments. Please leave all of the things that you are inquiring about, something you want me to talk about, some subject matter within reason, of course. Leave it in the comment section below. You have a great day or evening, depending on where you are. So long.